Assalamualaikum everyone. I'm Yasmin C. Abdul Hadil of STEM 125 and I'm here to discuss to you one of the examples of cloud computing under the online platforms, which is the Google Drive. But before anything else, let us start with the very known, or should I say the most common thing we hear every now and then, the word Google. We know that Google is an internet search engine. So typically, the basic function of Google, especially for students, is giving the access to information, or is a tool that gives us answers to certain questions. So we use that as a tool for research, for example. So it states here that it scans the web to find or locate certain web pages that is relevant to the words you type in the search box. It is under the company Google LLC, or Limited Liability Company, and as of today, it has approximately 2 million apps operating. Imagine how big or how huge apps is that. And it includes Google Drive. So, Google Drive is a file storage and synchronization service developed by Google. Specifically, it is the one that keeps your work files in one secure place with online storage. It is a Google app that enables users to store any file formats, may it be videos, PDFs, images, and so on. So, I know that everyone is already quite familiar with this app. It was launched on April 24, 2012, founded by Larry Page and Sergey Brin on September 4, 1998, and again allows users to store, synchronize, and share files online. Again, we already know it. It is also developed by Google and has approximately 1 billion global users. So, using Google Drive is entirely free. You can store your files in there as much as you want, as it offers free 15 gigabytes storage. It is useful in storing files online, but the only thing you need to do is to have a Google account, and from there, you can access many Google apps, including again the Google Drive. So to go or to proceed to Google Drive, you can simply type in google.com, the URL, and then click the upper dots in the right corner, and then again click the Drive, which will lead you to the site or the Google Drive. Or you can also download the app on Apple Store or in Google Play Store, or you can simply direct to the URL of the Google Drive. So here is my Google Drive, for example. We can see here some of my files and folders. So in this section, it indicates that I have already used 6.44 gigabytes of the 15 gigabytes free. So see these different files in there, which also are in different formats: a PowerPoint, a video, a spreadsheet, and an image. So when you click this new button, it will give you the access to upload files, folders, and etc. Using Google Drive is very easy. You just need to have the two things again, which is a Google account and an internet connection. So those are some things you need to know about Google Drive. Next, we will be discussing 5 of the most important features or key features by the Google Drive. First is storing files. Storing files. By default, Google gives you 15 gigabytes of free storage space across Gmail, Google Drive, and Google Photos. So if you ever hit that limit, which the 15 gigabytes, you exceed that gigabytes, you can always pay for more space by upgrading to a Google One account. The second feature of the Google Drive is sharing files. Files are private until you share them, but at any time, you can invite others to view, edit, or download files and documents. The third feature is accessing files from anywhere. So Google Drive files can be accessed from any smartphones, tablets, desktops, or computers. Offline access is also available. We have here comprehensive search. Drive can recognize images and even text in scanned documents, making searching for files even easier. And for the last, the fifth key feature of Google Drive is secure storage. Drive files are protected by these two kinds of encryption and the same security protocol used on other Google services. So now that we know the basic stuffs about how to use Google Drive and its key features, let us proceed to the pros and cons of the said app. For the pros of the app, we have compatible to various devices. Google Drive can run in any computer, laptop, desktop, smartphones, tablets, and so on, so long as you are connected to the internet. The second is instant access to edit files, meaning if you have logged into your Google account, the Google Drive is always a click away, so as the other Google apps. Quick file search, you can search for files through the search button. Ability to view different file types, so just like what we have said earlier, Google Drive holds different file formats. Next here, it is also easy sharing. Again, free storage space of up to 15 gigabytes, excellent user interface, and so on. So for the next column right here, the cons of the app. So the first in the list is security risks. The most often risk is that of sharing your files with the wrong person, and if copies are being made, there's not much you can do. Also, the data encryption used by data can be bypassed if you don't add extra layer of protection to maintain the safety of your data or your documents, for example. Second is the internet connection. So yeah, based on my experience, if you don't have internet connection, you cannot upload or share files in Google Drive. Aside from that, it takes too long for a certain file to be uploaded if you have no stable internet connection. And so, if you plan to access Google Drive, you must first establish connection first. Another is that it has a limit of how much you can upload for the day. So for example, you're using Google Drive for running your business and plan to upload large files every day, you should be aware that of the 750 gigabytes daily upload limit. If you reach this limit, you won't be able to upload anything else on that day. The fifth con is the file size limit. Again, there is also certain size limit in Google Drive. Next is downloading and uploading speed, to which you can really find yourself in an unwanted situation if you have a lot of files to upload, as well as if your data connection isn't good or isn't fast enough to handle that large amount of files you want to upload in Google Drive. And the last would be Google or how Google browses contents saved in Google Drive. Another downside of Google Drive is that it is strongly believed that Google is able to browse the data you store in your Google Drive. It's part of their security policy, and Google swears that they cannot read or open the data. However, if you store or if you're storing sensitive files in your Google Drive, so this thought is enough to make you restless. So imagine if Google see your or scans your files or like browses your files. That would be, especially if your data store, if the data you store in your Google Drive is very sensitive, then that would be very a bad situation, I guess. So again, those are for the pros and cons of the Google Drive. So now that we already know all the introduction, the big key features, as well as the pros and cons of the Google Drive, we can now access, or we already have a first knowledge on how can we use the Google Drive, like those that have been said or discussed earlier. So that would be all regarding my report about the Google Drive, which is an example of cloud computing under the online platforms, and I hope you have learned something, and thank you for listening.